Hey, it's Emily and today I'm going to do the school days book tag. Can I even do ties anymore? That is the question. Should I do it like we did in school? Should I do a really fat tie? Oh my god, we literally had ties like this. Oh my word. I mean, that's not bad for the first time in about... When did we stop wearing ties? Year 8 maybe? No, year 9? Year 9 I stopped wearing ties. So, that's not bad. I think I'm going to lower the height a little bit. Whoa! So, as you may be able to tell, I whipped out my old school tie for this. Very interesting choice of colours, but yeah. And I've got my dressage jacket on, because I don't have any more of my other uniform. And I got rid of the blouse, so I just got a white top on, but yeah, I thought I'd dress up for this video as a bit of a reminder of my school days. Oh my goodness! I just found some blue light glasses in my pocket. These are my old ones, like the first pair I ever bought. Damn. I also decided to stand up today because I thought I hadn't filmed in front of my bookcases for a while, and yeah, here I am. I'm going to hopefully be a bit more productive because I seem to talk a bit more when I'm stood up instead of when I'm just sat on my bed. I'm like bleh. So hopefully this will be an okay video and hopefully it won't drag on too long, but I have got quite a few prompts I want to go through. So this tag was created by Victoria. I'll leave her channel and the original video down below, so definitely go check that out. I was sort of tagged to do this. Chloe didn't officially tag me in the video, but when I commented on her video she said you're officially tagged, so I decided I'm just going to do it anyway, and yeah, might tag a few friends at the end, we'll see. I suppose we should just jump right on in to the first prompts. So I've got the, like, what are they called? The times of the day prompts here that I'm going to do all of those, and then I think I've got 5 subject prompts that I want to get to, but I'll talk about them in a bit. So I think we should just jump on into the first one, and that is First Bell, the book that got you into reading, and I have 2 answers for this. So the reason that I properly got back into reading is because I took part in a reading enrichment at my school, which was Wednesday afternoons. We could like choose what we did, and I picked a reading one, and it was for the ABAs, and that's ended up being something that I've done every year since, pretty much. Even if in the last few years since not being at school I haven't been able to go to the event. For that year, the first time I did it in 2013, you basically read 5 books, go to the event, meet the authors, and you find out who's won, you vote for them, anyway. And there's 2 that really stood out to me that year, and I can't remember which one I read first, so I'm just going to mention both of them. The first one is Slated by Terry. Absolutely love this. I've met her quite a few times, got them all signed, and I'll read you what's on the back because I'm so bad at explaining this book, and I'm going to put that other one down. Kyla's memory has been erased, her personality wiped blank, her memories lost forever. She's been slated. The government claims she was a terrorist and that they are giving her a second chance, as long as she plays by their rules. But echoes of the past whisper in Kayla's mind. Someone is lying to her and nothing is as it seems. Who can she trust in her search for the truth? So this whole trilogy I absolutely love, but this one definitely got me back into reading. The other one is The Repossession by Sam Hawksmoor. This copy is completely like damaged and all, but it has such a special place in my heart. This was probably my favourite one that year. I did vote it as my #1. I also got this signed by Sam Hawksmoor, so yeah, he was also a lovely guy. So I'll read what's on the back. 34 kids are missing, vanished without trace. They never write, they never call, parents are frantic. 6 weeks, 4 days, 16 hours and 20 minutes since the bedroom door locked on Jeannie McGee. She's possessed, says her mother. The devil wants her for his bride. All Jeannie's hopes, all her life and her soul are pinned on the beautiful Ryan. Ryan loves her. He'll rescue her from this madness, won't he? You're next, the face on the wall tells her. By morning, Jeannie realises she'll be missing too. The Repossession is just the beginning. This one went on such a wild ride. It was just great. It's a duology, and somewhere up here I have The Hunting, that's the second one, and that was also amazing. And oh, I have such fond memories of this. I haven't reread it in a while actually, so I might do that soon, but from what I remember, I just remember loving this, and it definitely got me into reading back in 2013, so even though that was a while ago, it's still, that was what, I mean, I read beforehand because otherwise I wouldn't have picked a reading enrichment, but I can't really remember what I read before I started picking up this sort of stuff. Probably just Michael Morpurgo. The next time of the day prompt is break time, and it's a book that you most recently had to take a break from or DNF'd. And for this, it's another ABA one. I think this was from 2014 or maybe 2015, and that's The Drowning by Rachel Ward. I picked it up, basically, this is my friend's copy, and I read it back then, but obviously I didn't buy every single book for the ABAs. We got them out from the library, because like the ABAs gave them to my school library sort of thing, or we bought them from the ABAs for the event. Anyway. I really enjoyed this when I read it the first time, and I wanted to reread it, and my friend said I could borrow it, and when I took it home from like when I saw her, I think it was like September, she gave it to me. We went for a nice little walk in the park and then she gave me this, and I picked it up immediately, got to chapter 3, which is 18 pages in, and I just had to put it down because I was reading other things at the time and I sort of forgot to lean towards this because I literally just picked it up on a whim. And especially last year I was very focused on the TBR and I had to get the TBR done, and whereas nowadays I'm a bit more like a mood reader. So this I had to put down. I definitely do want to finish it because I remember enjoying it the first time when I was about maybe 14, 15, I don't know. I can't remember when I read this, but I remember enjoying it, and I think it's about, if I remember rightly, this boy wakes up from a coma or something and he can't remember what happened before, but I think his brother's died. Anyway, I'll read the back. When Carl opens his eyes on the banks of a cold lake, his brother is being zipped into a body bag, and a shivering wet girl is being helped nearby. What happened in the water? He can't remember. All he knows is that he must find out before the truth comes back to drown him. So, yeah, that's the answer to that one. The third school time of the day prompt is lunchtime, and it's your favourite book that features food. For this, I've picked To Lahore with Love by Hina Balitz, and I read this last summer for the first Galliathon round and really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars, I believe, according to GOODREADS, according to on my laptop. I'll quickly read what's on GOODREADS because I'm really bad at explaining, as I've said many times. Addie Mayford has always struggled with her identity. Brought up in a household of stories, food and faith by her Irish mother and Pakistani nana, she feels constantly torn between the two sides of her upbringing. Since the death of her father, she's found contentment cooking delicious recipes from his home city of Lahore, despite the protestations of her mother that being a chef is no career for a young woman. It's only with the love of her gorgeous husband Gabe that she's truly found happiness. When Addie stumbles across a secret that shatters her world, she desperately needs to escape and is drawn to the sights of Lahore and a family she's never known. Waiting for her there is Addie's final acceptance of who she is, and a long-buried family secret that will change her life forever. It was a really fun read, but it was also really cool because if I remember rightly, there's like recipes between the chapters or at the start of the chapters of these really nice dishes from, I believe, Pakistan, and they just sounded delicious, but they were called like, you know, hopeful, I was going to say hobos, like, I can't even think of an example right now, I don't know, hope bringing bananas or something like that, you know. It was really cool, but it sounded delicious, and yeah, I really want to try them. But yeah, it was cool, I recommend. Next up we have Final Bell, and it's the book you most recently finished reading. This isn't strictly the last book I read, I've read one since, but at the time that I planned the prompts I wrote down, wherever it is, Murder Most Unladylike by Robin Stephens. This I really enjoyed. It's a like middle grade murder mystery story. It's the first in the Murder Most Unladylike series, I think that's what it's called. A Wells and Wong mystery. It was so gripping for a middle grade. I was pleasantly surprised, and I found myself guessing along the way. I highly recommend. It's about these 2 students of an all-girls school, and one of them sees one of their teachers' dead body in the like school gym, the sports hall, and then she runs to tell her friend. They come back and the body's gone, and they're like, how can we convince someone that there's been a murder when we've got no body, no evidence, and they're just like, we need to find out this for ourselves. I think I've described that okay. I need to get better at like describing books without giving spoilers, but I think I did okay then. Right, on to the next one. Literally everything just fell off my dresser. All my pictures and notebooks. I shall return. So next up we have Homework, and that's the last non-fiction book that you might have just seen it. The last non-fiction book that you read and enjoyed, and for that, well, a couple of days ago, as in last Friday, I read Groovy Greeks, which is a horrible histories book, and it is non-fiction, and I really enjoyed it. I love the illustrations and the jokes in it, and I just have such a fun time reading these. This is the 3rd one in my box. I have the blood-curdling box of box of books, not books of boxes. So obviously, as you might be able to guess, this is about the Greeks, and yeah, it was just a fun time, you know, a very quick read but also very educational, and I learned a lot from it. In terms of a more serious or more like adult non-fiction, I do recommend something up here. Where is it? So I just ran out of storage, and I can't remember what I was saying, but I think I was about to recommend A Very English Scandal as a more adult non-fiction. I loved this. It felt to me like it was told like a fictional story, however it was all like true. It was based on the Jeremy Thorpe and Norman Scott situation. Jeremy Thorpe was a British politician, and he had a relationship with Norman Scott. Norman Scott tried to basically admit this, and Jeremy Thorpe was denying everything, and basically then tried to kill off Norman Scott. Pretty much, I think I might have said that really horribly, but it also has the BBC adaptation with Hugh Grant in, so that's worth a watch. I thought that was really good as well. The next prompt is Staff Room, and it's a book that you lean to when you need to take a breath. And for this, obviously, I had to go with Almost a Bride by Jo Watson. I've mentioned this a few times before, especially in my last video. My last video, my Love Hearts book tag. If you haven't seen that, go check that out. But I mentioned this is definitely my go-to romance. It's my go-to reread for anything in general. I won't read the full description out because I did that in my last video. However, I'll just quickly go over the basics. So basically, Annie walks in on her boyfriend cheating on her with his colleague. So then she goes on this trip to Mauritius, and she meets this guy, Chris. Chris is like a screenwriter, and he tends to write rom-coms. She then bumps into her ex at this resort in Mauritius and his, you know, new girlfriend. And she's like, yeah, I've got a boyfriend. And then Chris steps in, he happens to be nearby, and is like, yeah, I'm Boyden. And then, so she tells all her friends eventually come out, and they have like this whole couples battle, like who's like the cutest couple, who does the most like grandest gestures. Anyway, I feel like I said a bit too much already, but it's great, and it's got some, you know, saucy moments in it too. But yeah, I highly recommend, or just any of the Destination Love books. I lean to them a lot. So we're now going to go on to the subjects. I was originally going to do the ones I did for A-level, but out of all of the ones I did, maths was the only one that had a prompt. I did maths, music tech, business, and then I did computing AS because we did 4 and then dropped 1. My phone is really not happy today. Shut off again. Okay, so yes, subjects. I decided to pick a few. I picked 5 in the end. I'll just go through them. I've got English, maths, music, and languages. Is that, wait, English, maths, music. Oh, that's 4. That's only 4. Oh my god, I can't believe that took me so long, and I did maths A-level. Okay, so the first one I did was English, and that was one book you studied at school and one book that you would like to add to the curriculum. So one book that I really enjoyed when I studied it at school, I think I was about 12 or 13 when we did this, and that is The Garbage King by Elizabeth Laird. I think that's how you say her name. Yes, I do plan to reread this soon, and that's coming in another video. I'll read what's on the back because I just really thought it was an important read, and I'm very glad that the school picked this. Danny and Mamo should never have met. In Ethiopia's great capital city, they have led unbelievably different lives. Danny's home is a grand house full of servants. Mamo has no home at all. But now both boys are on the run, one fleeing a tyrannical father, the other escaping a life of slave labour. Fate has brought them together, and their only chance of survival is to trust each other with their lives. I remember really enjoying this. It's a really disgusting copy now. My brother also used it when he then got to like that age. I just remember as like a 12-year-old finding it really like eye-opening, and just as well as a really good book, I was just learning so much as well at the same time, and that I really am thankful for. I think I remember the writing being really beautiful. I'm going to find out soon, like, when I potentially reread it. But yeah, that's that one. And now onto the book that I would like to add. And the book that I would probably add to the curriculum is Pet by Akwaeke Emezi, and I probably said that wrong, but yeah, I really enjoyed this. I read this fairly recently actually, but I think it was a very good read. This does tackle some harder issues as well as having great representation. Our main character is also transgender, so that is brilliant. There are no monsters anymore, or so the children in the city of Lucille have been taught. Jam and her best friend Redemption have grown up with this lesson all their lives, but when Jam meets Pet, she begins to question what she's been told. Pet has come to hunt the evil lurking in Redemption's house. But how do you save the world from monsters if no one will admit they exist? Another reason why I'd like to put this on the curriculum is also because I feel like there's not, at least at my school, we had no like fantastical books. They were all very realistic fiction, historical fiction. It packs a punch as well, and there'll be lots to look at. Whereas it's also got like a bit of a fantasy element with the character of Pet. While it deals with real issues, I feel like the fantastical elements made it a bit more enjoyable, and I feel like that would also be more engaging for younger people. And for maths, the prompt is how do you rate your books? And so I use like star rating up to 5. I feel like that's pretty standard. I do use 0.5s. I don't do 0.25 or 0.75. I stick to 0.5. I don't really know how to explain it. It's sort of like a feeling. This year I have started using Corpile, but I don't necessarily use the rating it gives me. That doesn't go into 0.5. And if I feel like, sorry, my throat, I've got the crystal stuck in my throat. If I feel like it was a different rating, then I'll give it a different rating, but it's interesting to put it into Corpile and then compare it to how I actually feel. That's pretty much how I rating. I've never given a book 1 star, I don't think. 2 stars if I don't like it. I've never really given a 1 star because I haven't really picked up a book that I hated. 2, yeah, I'd say is a book I don't like, won't reread, sorry. And 3 stars is if it's okay, it's, you know, meh. It's not too bad, it's enjoyable, but didn't do anything for me. 4 stars is like, that was really good, I really enjoyed that, but it didn't give me that 5-star feeling. And then 5 stars like, I love it, this is like a new favourite of mine. Yeah, so that's kind of how I rate them. Next we have music, and that is, no, that's the wrong one. What reading format do you think has the best rhythm for reading? For me, I definitely need to invest in a camera because it died on me again. So I can't remember what I was talking about. It was format. I find audiobooks and not paperbacks, and physical book together very productive. I fly through them a lot quicker when I've got the audiobook playing while I physically read. I can find that I can bump up the speed a lot more. I'm trying to think what else I can say. I do also like ebooks when it's like on the Kindle app and it says how long you've got left of the book. I find that very motivational and I want to beat it, so I get through the book quicker and I still actually enjoy the story. It's not just like I'm just flicking through the pages. But mostly it's audiobook and physical book at the same time. I do that a lot if I can, especially with fantasy. I find them hard to get through anyway because fantasy is like not my favourite genre at all. Oh, I can't think of what else to say really. Obviously sometimes the audiobook just doesn't work, it's like not got a good narrator or whatever, and sitting down physically to read a book, especially a shorter one for me, I still fly through. But yeah, I think audiobook and physical at the same time is probably my strongest and most productive format of reading. And finally, the last subject I picked is modern foreign languages, and the prompt for that is to recommend a translated book that you enjoyed. I literally just picked this. I didn't even enjoy languages that much at school or anything like that, so I only picked this because of the prompt. And for this I wanted to recommend The Letter for the King by Tonka Drakt, and I love this. This is a middle grade fantasy sort of thing, like Knights of the Realm kind of vibes. I just loved it. It's basically about a letter for the king and the journey this like young boy, Churi, goes on to deliver this letter to the king. I'll read what's on the back. Oh, I should probably also say it's translated from, I believe, Dutch, because Tonka Drakt is a Dutch author. That would make sense then. I also have read the sequel and it's really good. It's a duology and I'm like, I need more. I've never felt that way about a sort of fantasy. It's like not fantasy like dragons or anything, it's like knights. The fate of the kingdom depends on just one person. When 16-year-old Churi answers a desperate call for help, he finds himself on a perilous mission that could cost him his life. He must deliver a secret letter to the king who lives across the great mountains, a letter upon which the future of the entire realm depends. It means abandoning his home, breaking all the rules and leaving everything behind, even the knighthood that he dreamed so long for. Ah, it's just so good. It's so good. And for middle grade, it's quite chunky as well, like, and the font's not even that, like, small. Oh, it was just great. Highly recommend, highly recommend. Plus, like, the art is stunning. There's, like, art throughout at the start of each section there's like beautiful drawings, and I believe Tonka Direct does this herself. I think she draws as well. So she draws, she is the illustrator, but I highly recommend. So that brings me to the end of the prompts, the ones that I've chosen to do. Yeah, so if you stay tuned to the very end, as a thank you I suppose for, you know, sticking to the end of the video, at the very end there'll be some pictures of me in school, not looking at my finest, but enjoy them anyway. Thank you very much for watching, and oh, do I want to tag anyone? I'm gonna tag Rhiannon and Rebecca. I think I'm going to tag Rhiannon and Rebecca, and yeah, that's basically it. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like, and if you're new around here, please subscribe, and I'll see you soon with a new video.